Welcome to Impact with Youth, a series where we bring young change makers and global thought leaders together on one platform to explore innovative ideas to create impact with youth. Today's episode is Saksham Narika Safar, where we explore on how to bring more and more young women into India's workforce. I'm Grahya Yalavarthy, a social entrepreneur from Hyderabad. I make products for Industry 4.0 and healthcare sectors. Today, I have with me two exceptional leaders, Miss Arti Ahuja and Miss Manjula Singh, who are committed to bring more young women into India's workforce.
Thank you, Grahya. Very excited to be here with you and with Arti ji.
Thank you, and it's wonderful being here, and wish everybody a very happy International Women's Day as well.
Being a civil servant is one of the most prestigious jobs in our country. What was your journey like? Who were your champions and did you face any challenges? Can you please share it with us?
I would say more than being prestigious, it's the opportunities it offers. It's actually, and I've been telling everybody, it's a blessing. It's an, it's not everybody makes it. There are people who are more capable who could not enter it. So it's just a stroke of luck that day how you performed and you got into the civil services. But having said that, the ecosystem it offers you, the opportunities it offers you to help others is unparalleled. And this is something I've heard across board, even from people who work in different sectors, people who work abroad, the job profile that it offers. And my very first postings were in some of the remotest districts of the country. I had come from an urban ecosystem, a town, Chandigarh, and I went to these places and I realized that my country people, some of them, were definitely not as well off as the rest. But even in the face of all that, there was a tremendous dignity, there was a tremendous sense of self worth. And I think that is what inspired me and stayed with me throughout my career. And that is something I look back on as, again, as I said, that was something that was given to me, and that is something that I took on. The journey has been amazing. You asked me about challenges, and honestly, when I think about it, I don't see any challenges that I would have faced. I was never treated as a woman officer. I never felt like a woman officer. I was an officer. I was posted to some of the most challenging assignments, to some of the most challenging places, irrespective of what I was. And maybe there were one or two instances where somebody, may have said something, me being a woman, but frankly, it didn't stick, because in the end, what matters is the kind of work you do and the kind of reputation you earn and the things people say about you. That's way more important than what people who don't matter in your life may say. And the journey has been possible because of many people who were stakeholders, who helped along, with whom I was able to work and learn so much from them. And I think one such person is sitting here, Manjula, with whom I worked a long time back. So Manjula, you've been one of the partners on this journey, and I've known you for a long time. What made you a leader in this space, and what were the challenges and the opportunities that you had?
So thank you, ma'am, for asking that. And first of all, I should say that it's been truly a privilege working under your leadership. I've learned so much from you. Just going back on my background, I come from a very conservative, humble background. My father was the first generation to come out of a village, and my mother was illiterate. So educating their children, and especially the girl child, was very critical for them. So I believe that a good education really helps you set on a strong path for professional journey. I also, alongside my education, did a lot of summer jobs, which of course was very helpful to get some additional money, and much needed money, I must say. But also it gave me a lot of life skills, which I feel have become very handy for me as I'm now navigating my professional journey. So, something like communication, negotiation, problem solving, all of these are very, very critical skill sets to have, and really help you go a long way in your professional journey. I also feel very, very privileged to have mentors like you, but many others who've really inspired me to step into my power. And I now think that I've come a full circle where I have the privilege as a leader to be able to take decisions, but also be able to contribute actively back to the lives of girls and women and help them step into their power. So that's my journey. Grahya, it'll be good to hear from you. What has really inspired you to take a path of entrepreneurship? And what are the kind of challenges that you faced when you took on this non-traditional career path?
My journey started when I was in engineering. We've learned problem solving as a primary subject. So, in all of the coding that we do, in all of the products that we build, we always had problem solving as a first thing that we actually look at. But what we really missed was that we were always obsessed with the solutions that we were building. We did not care much about the user experience that mattered the most. And there was this program that I was a part of. It's called Youth for Social Impact, which was done by UNICEF in Hyderabad, Telangana. And I was fortunate enough to be selected among the top 10 teams, and we won the challenge there. We put forth an idea of developing a safety system which actually also monitors the individual worker safety, and it got selected and we won the cash prize of 1,50,000. That was the first step in my journey where we got a financial aid to build our product in real time. That's when it also triggered to us that we need to actually go and talk to the workers first, understand their challenges, understand the kind of environment that they work in, and also develop a product that actually caters to their requirement and solve this particular problem. And after that, I continued with my engineering as well. Like I was in third year. That was when I finished the POC, the proof of concept, and then I wanted to do a full product development of the idea that we were thinking. But what I really lacked was money. That's when my mentors have come into the picture. They're also the professors from my college, and we were all a women team. So we really struggled with going to such places, interacting with workers, and all of that, and mentors helped us there, and we started applying for MSME fund as well, and I was lucky enough to got selected for that as well, and we've got a grant of 15 lakhs. Wow. That's when we took it on a larger scale and we've developed the product. I thought the product that I was trying to build was a safety product. Even if I could save one life, that is more than enough for me. So I took a seat back with my masters and I established my company, and it's called InView Systems. Now we don't just build monitoring system for industries, but we are also building monitoring systems for healthcare as well. And few challenges were that I was not taken seriously when I told that I wanted to build such products. So our principal ma'am, she was the one who kind of pushed me forward, saying that let's say even if this cannot be a commercial solution, you can actually go ahead and build it. Let's see the scale that we have. That it was her push that I've actually started it. So I feel now when I look back, probably that's one of the best decisions that I've ever taken. And I also want to understand, ma'am, what are the major reasons why we do not have women in the labor force in today's world?
So traditionally, what we've seen is that women have overrepresented in informal sectors like agriculture or construction. But as the relative share of these jobs into this sector has declined, we haven't seen women actually moving or transitioning to another job in the same proportion, partly because of the low education and also because of the limited skill sets. From our research, we know that there are sectors like mobility, e-commerce, logistics, which are poised for growth in the near future. But we also know that these are also the sectors which do not have women. I also feel that these sectors are also quite good for women because they provide some kind of flexibility that women would be needing in their jobs. But just coming back in terms of why we don't see so many women in these sectors is because of a lot of biases. So just for an example that, you would see that recruiters would not go in for hiring women, but women themselves, because they are not seeing any role models in this sector, they themselves don't intend to apply. Similarly, some of the job advertisements which you would see, it says wanted a delivery boy, which actually just rules out women from applying for such a job. But beyond that, we've also seen that there are a lot of issues with the women-friendly infrastructure. Like, you wouldn't see in many of these spaces an access to toilet or a safe transportation or creche, which would really enable women to move from one geography to another, to take up some of these jobs. But I do know that the women labor force participation has increased, and there's a lot of effort that the government has taken up. So, ma'am, let me ask you, you've been in the government and there's a lot of successful models that we've seen. It'll be good to hear from you. Which are those models or best practices or approaches that have seen an active and accelerated workforce participation from women?
Thank you, Manjula. And like you, let me start with some evidence. So, as you mentioned, we've seen in the periodic labor force survey that the women's workforce participation has gone up in the last couple of years by 14 percentage points and is now 37%. So, this is also something that is with the growing economy. As economies grow, as household incomes grow, we typically see a U-shaped curve for women. Their employment goes up. So we are at the cusp and we have an opportunity. But this has also been made possible through an ecosystem, through an environment, an enabling environment. You mentioned some of those things. Let me mention a few others. For example, the Maternity Benefit Act, the amendment of 2017, it increased the maternity leave to 26 weeks, nursing breaks, creches, etc. Then the whole startup, they favor women entrepreneurs and there's an active promotion. The whole skilling ministries initiative, where again, lot of skilling of women is being done in higher education institutions, in STEM, in professional courses, more and more women coming in, and a lot of other such initiatives have been taken. And that is what is leading to a greater participation of women in the workforce. And again, looking at the evidence, you talk to the workers, for example, when women were asked, what is it that holds them back from active participation? And when men were also asked, for men, it was mostly higher education. For women, it was mostly household work and childcare. Right? So it is the social construct as well that holds women back. And again, studies have found that where the mother-in-law is working, where the household income is high, where the husband's education is higher, the women's propensity to work is higher. They're more likely to be in the workforce. So the social construct is also something which is underlying a decision to enter employment. And that is why probably more and more women are in the informal workforce. So when you look at it from the livelihood point of view, it is also a kind of, let's say, this whole self-help group movement. That has also created many icons in the rural areas, the reservation for the Panchayati Raj institutions. So those icons are emerging. More and more women are opting for work, for flexible work, some of which may be in the public domain and be counted, and some of which may not be. But a lot of such successful models are emerging all over the country. And I think in another few years, when the next survey comes up, we will definitely see a huge upswing in the participation of women in the workforce. And I think that would bring me back to you. And I would like to ask you that, what, since you struggled, you participated and you won the UNICEF prize and also the Startup India help you got, what is it that different stakeholders can do, within the society or from civil service organizations or government or other organizations? What can they do to support a women's workforce participation?
Talking from a woman entrepreneur's perspective, there are enough opportunities that are already out there for both women and men entrepreneurs. But the problem here is that women are always held back from taking up such, choice. They're always asked to take up some sort of a job, and with no risk movement. But since there are a lot of opportunities, but there's also a gap that I've noticed is that there is lack of awareness as well. In my college, we've known about all of these opportunities because a formal education of this ecosystem was done in our college. But there are lot many regional colleges that do not have these facilities. They do not have the incubation cells. They do not have people who have enough knowledge to talk about such opportunities. So I feel if government and private sector and young people as well come together and start raising awareness more on the opportunities that are available out there, it would be of a great help. Because since I'm a part of the ecosystem, so I got to know about it periodically. But there are a lot many women who want to take that risk but are still scared because of the financial dependencies that they might have to take some sort of a loan and all of that. But the opportunities that we have right now, right from the MSME, from the Startup India, and all of the innovation grants that we have, I think we have enough opportunities. It's just that there is no enough awareness out there. And another challenge or issue that I have noticed is that women in tech are not taken seriously, like not in tech, STEM as well. I feel like if there are some more programs that are done specifically for STEM or specifically for women entrepreneurs in tech space, that will be of a great help, because seeing more and more young women take up such unconventional path would actually lead the way to the rest of them who are aspiring to be like them.
So, ma'am, this is a rapid fire. Let me just ask you one question. So, how can everyone who's watching this episode can play a role in ensuring there's enhanced women's participation in the workforce?
I think everyone who's watching this episode, it's like preaching to the converted in any case. But I think taking up on what Grahya said, that many people don't know about the facilities that are on offer for women entrepreneurs and other things. So I think people who are watching this episode, if they can disseminate this, if they can make those connections and bring people together and ideas together, I think they will be doing a great job.
Grahya, to you, if you were not an entrepreneur, what career would you have chosen?
I enjoy problem solving, ma'am. Right from the school age, I always enjoyed problem solving. Probably I would have gone into the workforce in the hardware industry, solving more problems and also having the impact side of it. I love to volunteer. So I've been mentor for a few ideas as well. So where I help young kids who want to develop some sort of innovative products. So I'll probably be with them and help them develop their products.
So Manjula, let me ask you now. How do you think men can make workspaces safer for women?
Yeah, so I think just being open with their mindset, not being the gatekeepers, not having any biases, and not making this as a zero-sum issue. There's enough and more research and evidence that points out that if there is gender equity, it's the culture of the organization that gets enhanced, there's more productivity. But also as women come into the workforce, families thrive, so does the economy.
So it's a win-win.
Yes.
This brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much, Manjula ma'am. Thank you so much, Arti ma'am. This was an incredible conversation. I wish every woman watching this episode a very happy International Women's Day.
Thank you, Grahya, for having such a wonderful conversation today. I just wanted to say one thing to all women and girls who are watching this episode today, that please don't hold back yourself. Step into your power. This is the most opportune time and we are all here to support. There's a whole ecosystem who's working for you today.
And I'd like to add to that, the theme is Saksham Nari Ka Safar. And who is a Saksham Nari? A Saksham Nari is one who is empowered from within, but who also has the support system of others. And it's not just the family, it's the government, it's the community, it's everybody. So, and as Manjula was saying earlier, it's a win-win for everybody if women enter the workforce. So go ahead, there's nothing holding you back.
The journey has just begun. Thank you so much for being a part of Saksham Nari Ka Safar.